Hey everybody, welcome back to the Workbench here at Scale Models Midwest. David as always, hoping you're having a great weekend. It is Easter Sunday, and it has been a while since I put in a video, so I wanted to catch you up to date on what we've done here, which is honestly not a lot. I have in the background the Chevelle right here, as you see. This is getting ready to get sanded so I can get it polished out. I have not done any more work beyond that. I actually today am going to start pulling out my sub-assemblies and kind of getting my bearings straight on them, because I'm finally back to where I can do some more work on the workbench. I created a honey-do list. It's like 4 pages long, and I think you can relate when you've got a lot of stuff you want to work on, especially when spring is sprung. You want to get out there, work on the yard, you want to aerate the yard, plant stuff, clean up gardens, and that's a lot of what we've been doing. And I've got a couple cars been working on getting cleaned up, and finally breaking the Mustang out of its slumber so I can get that set up for an autocross event next Sunday, which I hope to participate in. And if I do, I'll get you some video and show you how that works. It's been about 30 years since I actually competed in autocross, so I'm excited to see what I can do with my current Mustang. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about the cool stuff in scale. This one is the Blackbox STL that got printed out, and I purchased this from a reseller, and I'm not sure how the guy's name is pronounced, but apparently he's one of the big names. I think it's Andre, I can't remember the last name, but forgive me for that. These kits print out spectacular detail. This kit, the chassis you saw in the previous video, came with rear transaxle, rear suspension parts, even part of the front suspension, already 3D printed. The 3D printing on the engine, the detail on the seats, the twin radiator here, nothing short of awesome. This is just, it was well worth the price that I paid for the kit, but there are some caveats here, and I'll explain. First of all, when you are building a 3D printed kit, much like resin, utilize your CA glues. I used various types. I had a couple of different ones from our local hobby store, and I used also Zap-A-Gap. I also, to make sure it's set, I used Insta-Set so I could move on to other parts. I did not use any Plastruct Bonding to this. It's all basically your Zap-A-Gap or your quick drying CA glue. Some fiddly bits, like the Savinos JR kits, the axle half shafts, which are these right here, I did not put in the kit because they were just, one, too fiddly to get in there, and therefore I left them out. I would say, if at all possible, when you're building this kit or any kit like this that has something like axle half shafts, put them in first as you're mounting your tires, or even before you mount your tires and wheels, just so you know they're going to fit. If you notice also, I don't have window glass on this. I had the bucks for the front and for the rear, and I could have done a relatively flat piece, but it just wasn't working out the way I wanted to. So after I cleaned up windshield stuff again, I put a little block underneath this and actually tried to get some plastic, clear plastic, warmed up enough that I could drape it over this. It didn't work the way I'd hoped, and I don't have a vacuum former, so I didn't get to do that the way I was hoping for. Now, I could probably do that in the future. I'm sure I could take this apart and do that, but ultimately, I saw a car in a video racing around. It didn't have a windshield, didn't have a rear, and you know, it's just a drift vehicle like this one. Sorry to get some water here. So I decided to leave it out. The interior detail actually turned out pretty good. I did not do the racing seat belts. I had hoped to do so. Daniel Doan was telling me it looked like I should put purple seat belts in, and for a moment I thought I was in business. My wife said she had purple ribbon. Great. What was not great was that the purple ribbon was too wide for my S&S Specialties racing harness hardware. So instead of being 1/8 inch wide, I tried to go with 16 inch. Did not work. I even tried some Tamiya tape just to see if I could fit it in there. I did, but I couldn't get into the second one. So that's something I'm going to have to practice before I really put it into one of my kits. I know I've got to do that for the Chevelle, so I still plan on doing that, just not for the truck. Anyhow, detail-wise, again, this was great. Once it builds up into the kit, you just really like it. I mean, you see the video here, or I should say the picture of the rear end. I didn't have instructions that went with this kit. I just went from the pictures. So I don't know if you end up buying this particular kit and you get instructions. I did see on the web at one time the instructions. I should have saved them. That's my fault. But beyond that, you know, it's still, you can still build this up just fine without it. I mean, if you know how real vehicles go together, then looking at those pictures, plus your knowledge of what a real vehicle looks like when it's put together, you should have no problem building this or any other kit. I would recommend on this one using nothing but CA glue. I had some Hobby Haven CA glue plus some Zap-A-Gap, and just to make sure it all set pretty quickly, I had the Insta Set that I used. I did not use any other cement or liquid cement on this. I just used nothing but CA glue. If I had any kind of quibbles, it was just when I purchased the kit, it looked fine, but I set everything out and I noticed there was a chassis warp. So I went on ahead and did the hot water treatment, had it sit, and it looked good. Put it away for a few minutes, came back, and it warped again. So I was undeterred. I went on ahead and did the same thing. This was when I started to build this kit. I did the hot water treatment for the chassis, let it sit. It went right back to being flat, nice and straight, put it on the jig, started building everything. And then in the past month, I saw the warp reoccur. And I was kind of like, do I even want to mess with it at this point? Because the kit's like 90% built at the time. So I went on ahead and just tried to do what I could to get the warp out. And for the most part, it's gone, but you can tell there's still just that little bit of a warp. So that's just one little caveat when you're buying a kit like this. Be real careful. Stuff like that can warp, especially if it's the larger pieces. I remember seeing people talk about the Salvino Shayar kits, that their chassis would warp as well, the flat pan and whatnot. It happens with your kits. Just be patient with them. You know how to build a kit. We're not assemblers. We're gonna scratch build some stuff. We're gonna figure things out. But because of the warp, if you notice at the back here, it would have the roll cage assembly and the rear part of it plugging in some holes in the wall, or sorry, the holes in the rear of the truck. But here it did not. Because of the warp, I'm missing those little mounting holes. Is it a deal breaker? Nah. This isn't going to go to a contest table. It's going to sit on my shelf, and actually my daughter's shelf, because she likes the color. She picked out the schemes. Posable steering, great. Just make sure that you are not gluing anything from the shock towers into the shocks or strut assembly, the upper or lower part, and you can have your posable steering, no problem. The engine, it's a shame putting it in the kit because it is that detailed. Twin turbocharged. I think it's a small block. It's a very sharp piece of machinery, and it looks really good on its own. Detailed, wired. It's a monster. But I went on ahead and did it there. Another item that I did have to adjust was I did have to sand the back of the grill, both spots, for it to fit within the opening of the front end. Again, no major issues there, but that's just a thing you have to look at. Sometimes your 3D printed parts are going to require some work. So besides the half shaft and the lack of the glass, then of course having to sand that, and the warpage of the chassis. Those were not breaking points for me. I did have to step away from the vehicle for a couple weeks because it was giving me fits with like the racing harnesses and what have you. But ultimately, it came back to it, saw it through. Look at the detail underneath that. It's pretty sharp. And ultimately, it does build up into a sharp little Chevy drift truck. Kind of like that. I kind of wish I had found a Sweet Tart logo that I could have done on a decal, but I have seen some Sweet Tart logos. I'm going to try and figure out a way that I can use my daughter's Photoshop to put them onto white decal background or black decal background, and then print them out and put them on the side of the truck. So I've got to find a time to where I can take over my daughter's computer and do that. But otherwise, it looks sharp just the way it is. Again, this is a Blackbox STL file that got printed out, and there are people that resell these, but you can always download the file and print them out if you've got your own 3D printer, which I don't have, but someday I might. Meantime, I'll buy from those who do have 3D printers, and gladly contribute to them and build the stuff, and there you go. So with that, hope you like it. I do. I've got to start getting the parts together for the Chevelle because I've got 2 more kits. I saw a group build coming up for 60s style drag cars, and I'm kind of looking at that. But I really need to get back into the swing of things here. Like I said, my to-do list for the house came first, and for our rental the same way. So I've got some things taken care of on that list. I can now get down here and work on it. Got some time coming up where I can actually devote to working on this kit. But in the meantime, I'm going to go on ahead and start. I got a couple hours left before my wife gets home from work. Work on the other kit for a bit, and then go from there. Meantime, I just hope you guys are all building the cool kits, and keep checking out the videos. We'll catch you in the next one.